All right. Since I have been here, there has been one request for an increase in the debt ceiling. I understand there's another one coming. I don't know whether it will come before the first Tuesday in November or after the first Tuesday in November. I want you to assume, and again, I'm not going to hold you to the number. You don't need to go research it. You're smart enough. I've seen you testify before enough to know that you probably will be able to answer this question off the top of your head. If this were the last debt ceiling increase you could ask for, the final one, and you had to make it large enough for all current and future obligations, what would the request need to be?
Well, I don't know how to answer that question. Let me answer it slightly differently. It makes no sense for the country. Since Congress controls how much we can borrow every year, we have no independent authority to spend beyond what Congress authorizes. For Congress to put itself and its members through the position every 6 months or every year to hold a separate vote, politically difficult vote, on whether they should continue to authorize us to do things they've already authorized us to do. But I don't know how to answer that question because you're talking about the future. The best way to—
Well, the last debt ceiling increase was for how long and for how much?
Well, under the deal we reached last August, we set up a mechanism, I believe, where Congress imposed on itself 3 votes over a 15-month period.
What will be the amount of the increase in November or December?
Well, it depends. This is Congress makes this choice, and the Congress has to make the choice based on how much time they want to give them. So,
right, but you've seen the numbers. In fact, I made a note. You used the exact same word that Chairman Ryan uses, and I hope they don't run any ads showing you pushing a senior citizen off a cliff in a wheelchair for using that word. But you just used the word unsustainable.
Right.
So my question to you is, if we had one more chance to borrow all the money that we need, assuming current variables, how big would that number have to be?
I don't know how to answer that. I think that if you let me try this a little differently. You'll have to decide as a member of Congress how much time you want to give Congress before you have to vote on it again, and you can choose that amount of time. The larger the number you create, the do it. But again, the debt limit doesn't decide how much we can borrow. You decide how much we can borrow because every year you decide
how
what we can
much
authorize.
debt would we need to meet current and future obligations, assuming the status quo indefinitely?
Well, that I'd be happy to get you in writing. I can't do it in my head, though.
How about a round number?
No idea. I just can't do it in writing. But if your question is that if Congress authorized no additional increase in spending or revenues forever, how much we have to borrow? I can do that question in math, but I got to
20 trillion?
I just can't do it in my head.
50 trillion?
I don't know.
I've seen you work before. You're smart. You're quick.
Not smart enough.
A lot? Can we agree it'd be a lot?
It would be a lot. It would make you uncomfortable.
Right. Thanks. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.